Hello, Taos. This is Staci Matlock, editor of the Taos News, and we hope you all have been having as good a week as you can, and with the latest health updates in the age of COVID. I am here today once again with some of our education experts in Taos. We are very lucky to have a lot of exceptional people working very hard on a situation that absolutely none of them were trained to do, which is how do you educate everybody during a pandemic? So they've been writing the playbook as they go and setting a model for lots of people and programs moving forward. So today we're going to start with Anita Bringas, the Strategic Support Manager from UNM-Taos. And she has brought a guest, Erin Clark, who is the head of the Taos Education Center. I probably messed up that name, but they'll correct me in a moment. And we really appreciate any and all of you that are joining us today. It's super important because all of these educators also let us know how we as the community can help them. And that's really important, whether or not you have children, what they do both with K through 12 and then with higher education. This is our community. These are people who are striving to ensure the very best educational experience for everyone that they can, even if that is all online. So with that, I'm going to turn that over to Anita. Anita, welcome.
Thank you, Staci. Nice to see you, and always great to see you, Dr. Torrez. I'm really excited to be back with you all again, and with our guests, Melissa and Erin, who we'll be hearing from shortly. It's great to be back. Yes, certainly a lot going on, and a lot of changes across the state and the county, and how that's impacted higher education. So I'll start there, because I think that's what is on most folks' minds, is how the surge in positive COVID cases across the state, and particularly in our own county, have impacted what we're doing on campus. So subsequent to last week's governor's changes to the public health order, the higher education department and UNM main campus put out a notice that effective the Monday after Thanksgiving, that all classes would be going to an online and remote structure. Now, UNM-Taos, since mid-March, we have been mostly remote. 90% or so of our classes had transitioned at that point to online and remote formats. And we have only been offering face-to-face instruction for those classes that really needed that hands-on experience, or that led directly to employment in the healthcare fields, like our nursing program and EMT, things of that nature. And then, of course, things like our commercial driver's license program, which, as I've been saying, it's hard to do that over Zoom, right? So this week, we've been transitioning the Office of Academic Affairs, our Dean of Instruction, Dr. Randy Archuleta, and her chairs of her academic areas have been working hard this week to transition those last few face-to-face courses to fully online instruction, and figuring out what that means. So we're maintaining that high level of instruction and the student learning outcomes as we're required to do per the Higher Learning Commission accreditation process, but do so in a safe way. So we will be ready by this coming Monday, the 23rd. All of our classes will be 100% remote through the rest of the fall semester, which ends in December. Campus will be closed for a few weeks for winter break, right before Christmas until just after the new year. And then we will make whatever determination that we need to, that is deemed to be the most safe for our students, our campus community, and the community at large, come our spring semester, which starts on January 18th. We will, at the very minimum, do like we've done for the fall semester, where the majority of the classes will be held remote. If we can, we will try to do some of our face-to-face classes for those hands-on, the courses that do require that hands-on component. But it really depends on where we're at, and that really depends on each one of us and what our actions and our behaviors and COVID safe practices are for the next couple weeks. So that's kind of where we're at for now. Our spring registration is currently opened. So folks can go to our website, taos.unm.edu, to see what classes we are offering for the spring. And I encourage folks to start early. You know, classes don't start now for another couple months, but if you're a new student, there is a bit of an application process. We do have open enrollment, which means that students are not required to submit ACT or SAT scores. We have a really amazing team of admissions officers, financial aid officers that can walk you through that application process, help you transfer over credits if you happen to have any credits from another institution, or start from scratch that process. They can also help fill out the federal application for free student aid, or the free application for federal student aid. It's a long acronym, but the FAFSA application, which essentially filling that out is your first step to be able to qualify for the federal Pell Grant and other scholarships and financial aid that's available. With UNM-Taos, we have one of the lowest tuitions in the state as it is, with $78 a credit hour, but that still is an expense. So with some of if you're a recent high school graduate, with the bridge, the lottery bridge scholarship, the Pell Grant, and some other small local private scholarships that we have thanks to community donors, you can pretty much have your first full-time year or two of school completely covered with very little out-of-pocket expenses. But it's really key to start early in that process. Meet with your financial aid advisor, meet with an admissions advisor, and they will walk you through the whole step of the way. So again, taos.unm.edu, or call 737-6215 to get started. And so I think this is a good segue to turn it over to my guest today, who's joining us from the Taos Education and Career Center at UNM-Taos, Erin Clark. She's the Education and Development Manager, and we'll be talking about the high school equivalency, or formerly known as the GED, and how that pathway into UNM-Taos certificate and degree programs. That's a good place to start if you have not completed your high school diploma. And then a lot of the work that they're doing at Tech in workforce training and English language acquisition, formerly known as ESL. So with that, I'll turn it over to colleague and friend Erin. Thanks for being with us today, Erin.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. And I'm glad, Anita, that you brought up that that name GED. A lot of people recognize GED and associate it with adult education, but a few years ago, about 3 years ago, we shifted to more of a high school equivalency program. And that's an important distinction because it includes a few different things. We help our students who are either under 18 and haven't finished high school, or adults who also haven't finished high school. We also serve adults who may not have been in school for a while and need to brush up on some skills in order to move on to some post-secondary training. We moved to this high school equivalency concept because we wanted to prepare students with academic skills, but also with social emotional skills and technical skills. And a lot of kind of a new concept for a lot of people is that students who don't have their high school equivalency can start working on a technical certificate without it, and work on getting their high school equivalency at the same time. In a vocational field of their choosing, and English language students can do that as well. We are starting a little bit earlier than UNM-Taos. We're going to start January 4th for our next session, so that students have a couple of week buffer. And if they're ready to based on our orientation process and testing process, if they feel like they can move to UNM-Taos, then they have a little bit of time to get ready to do that. So we're starting a bit earlier in January to help students navigate getting where they need to be. And that seems to be something that's important right now, especially during COVID, is giving students enough time to sort of get up and running in whichever program they choose. I think, is there anything else, Anita, you think I should fill folks in on?
Can you talk a little bit, Erin? What has been really interesting to me is the workforce training piece and kind of the IET model and what
Yeah.
exactly that is and how it really supports our students, regardless what level of their academic pathway they're in, whether it's HSE or certificate or degree, incorporating all of those different things into the classroom.
Yeah, you bet. So IET stands for Integrated Educational Training. And that's that piece where students can be academically supported by an adult educator in a classroom when they're working or while they're working on a technical certificate. So we have a program right now that's been happening for a few years. It's Solar Tech. And so we have an industry specialist, an industry expert who teaches the class. And then we also have an adult educator in the classroom at the same time as well that's supporting students in their academic needs. A lot of times our students come a little bit underskilled. Maybe their reading skills are not high enough to independently work in a college level course. And so this IET model helps support them so that they can not just, we like students to think of their HSC as just a step along their path and not the end point. So the IET model is really a nice way of integrating all of those things so students are supported and can succeed and be employed with a good wage, and that they'll be capable and professional and their wage will sustain them and their families. We're also working on that with the early childhood program. We're working on an IET model there. And I think the more we're sort of merging a little bit more with UNM-Taos, and we'll do so in the next 1 or 2 years completely. And so we're really excited to sort of share that model with a lot of the certification programs to help students be really successful as they work on those technical certificates or whatever program they choose.
Thank you, Erin. So I just want to bring out one thing you said that refers to this this idea, these pathways to success. So if you imagine a road, right, and then there's different on-ramps and different off-ramps. So through tech, the high school equivalency is one of the on-ramps that people can get onto that academic pathway, right? The direct high school graduation is one, the high school equivalency is another. Going back to school, like I did later in life, is another on-ramp. And then the off-ramps are people might come in just for their HSC and then jump off and go into the workforce. Or they might decide to continue on to get their certificate and then their 2-year degree, and then move on to transferring to a 4-year institution. And at each points in there's that off-ramp directly into the workforce. So I think that's something through Tech and UNM-Taos that we've really been working on is identifying those different on-ramps and where can we meet students where they're at to support them in whatever their goals are for academic or career, and then support them on their off-ramps directly into workforce in the community. So really appreciate the partnership with you and Erin and your team there at Tech and how it is becoming more integrated with UNM-Taos. So thank you.
Yes. And if students, thank you, Anita. That's a nice visual image. Thank you. And if students are interested in registering with us in January, Anita, you were going to provide our website. They just need to give us a call and we'll get them started in the process.
Thank you very much, Anita and Erin. Appreciate all of that information. Very, very helpful. Dr. Torrez, do you want to now introduce your guest and talk a little bit about what's going on at TMS?
Yes. Well, thank you. And hi to Erin, Anita, Melissa, and you, Staci. Thank you so much. It's always so much fun to do these. So what I wanted to start with is just a quick update, and then I'm going to go through our communication tool, which Melissa will help me with. And then the second part of our forum today will be Ms. Sandoval, who is the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction. She will be explaining how we're doing academics, how we're prioritizing it, and making it as effective as possible by prioritizing the state standards. So first, let me start by saying we've been remote. Starting today, And tomorrow we have closed all buildings. No one is allowed in the buildings. We're 100% remote. And then next week is a week vacation for our staff, which is well-deserved and really needed. And that is our Thanksgiving vacation. And so we will be back on Monday, November 30th, and we will continue as we have been. However, we will have to suspend our in-person for pre-K and special education students. In other words, we'll have to continue online because we will not have any in-person at all for the next 3 weeks before winter break. Other than that, since we remain remote, there's not a lot of other changes for us. When we come back, we do not plan on starting hybrid immediately. We need a 2-week quarantine. And at that point, we'll have our recommendation committee give the board some more recommendations, and they'll be monitoring throughout the next couple of months, and then give recommendations to the board, and the board will decide when we should start hybrid. When we do start hybrid, we will start slow with the 25% hybrid and then move to 50% hybrid sometime second semester. Melissa, do you want to put on our screen share?
Of course.
What
Is it
I
okay for
wanted-
me to share my screen?
Yes.
You should be able to, Melissa, I believe. I've got it set up. There we go.
So what we're having here right now is our website. So if you go to our website and you go to Taos Municipal Schools and click on our website, this is what you will find. And there's a new communication tool, especially with COVID, and the fact that we want to make sure that we meet all students, staff, community members, and of course our parents' needs. We have this new communication tool, and it's called Let's Talk. So if you go to our website, this is in the front. It's got for the superintendent, it's got all these different things. But if you look in the middle, we'll scroll down a little bit, it says Let's Talk. With Let's Talk, it asks you, do you want do you have a question for us? Do you want to communicate, contact us? And if you do, press that orange button. When you press the orange button, basically it tells you that we really want to communicate with everyone, all of our stakeholders. Go down a little bit more, Melissa. You will see quick tabs that you can click on. So the quick tabs to click on, if you have any questions about COVID-19 or our athletics, what's happening with that, or you need technology help, or you have meal delivery questions on what our schedule's like, or when any specific route, for instance, that you need to know about. Social emotional learning question. We have our coordinators that are in charge of that. We have Dr. Gladys Herrera, Spanish speaker. She's our parent engagement coordinator if you have any questions with that. Or you may have need to get a hold of Miss Ray Lujan for any Native American assistance, for anything that we need with that. Also, we have general questions. If you have something that doesn't fit into these, you can click general questions. Or do you want to volunteer? If you want to volunteer, that goes to me, and I look for a place that fits what you would like to volunteer for. And then we have our bilingual for our ELL parents and students if you need any assistance. And then the next button you will see is assistance with school supplies, clothing, shoes, coats. If a parent or family needs any help, they go to this button and press it. We do also have our phones and everything working, but we wanted to make sure that we put everything comprehensive in one area. And then the last one is Ask the Superintendent. ask me any question you have, and I will get right back to you. The next piece you'll see is contact central office. If you want to get a hold of Ms. Sandoval, who will be speaking in a minute, you can click there. If you have questions for human resources, transportation, Ms. Winter. If you have anything with pre-K or exceptional programs, Ms. Brasher. If you have anything with budget, finance, any kind of you're looking to get paid for something, or Ms. Halder will catch that. Equity and federal programs, Ms. Mondragon. Will help you. And then also child find, which we get a lot of questions with child find. That will be Ms. Brasher. 504 compliance in our district is Ms. Mondragon, and she will take care of that. And if you have any Title IX questions, then our high school principal, Ms. CJ, will take care of that. And then the third piece is click to contact our schools. So every school, the owner is the principal. So if you clicked on Arroyos, you would contact the principal. The second piece are our counselors and social workers, and our third piece is nurses. So you can get a hold of any school, any counselor, social workers, any nurse, and if they need to bounce it over to a different department, they're able to. But let's click on Arroyos Elementary, for instance. Let's take that first school. What do you see when you click on any of these buttons? You will see, what would you like to submit? Do you have a question? Do you have a comment? Do you have a suggestion? Do you have a concern? Or do you have a compliment? You might want to compliment somebody. And then you click on what's on your mind. So let's say that, Melissa, why don't you click question? So we'll click on question, and what is the topic? The topic for Arroyos, let's say, is after school activities. So you would type in after school activities. And so what is your question? What programs do you have? Could be something that I might want to put in there. So then you go down and you say, are you a student? Are you a parent? Are you a staff member, or are you a community member? Click on parent. Let's say it's a parent wanting to know, what my child goes to Arroyos, what do you have? So the parent would put their name in there and their email, and just put Melissa in there for now, because we just launched this yesterday and we were all practicing to see how it works. And then Melissa, put your email in there, and Miss Branchell will get this, and this will be a practice for her because we're going to submit. You can put your phone number if you want to be contacted. Some do, some don't. And then it says, thank you. We're going to get back to you within the next day. Thank you for submitting this. So that's what you will see after you submit to anyone. Now, there's two ways to do this. If you see the little red on the end, it says contact us. I press the middle button, but if you do want to click on this one, there's two ways you can do this. But look at select a topic. Click up there, Melissa, on select a topic. All the buttons I just went through, those are all selections that you can click on. So if you wanted to use it this way, you would click on Arroyos. And then when you click on Arroyos, what you're going to do is do the same thing we just did. So we would repeat that right there. So you can either click on the side on the red, or you can click in the middle, and it's really the same way, but we wanted to make sure that nobody misses that. So this is called Let's Talk. We're the only one in New Mexico using this, and we are very serious about getting out there and making sure that we're able to contact and communicate. If you call our school, you may get a message, and because nobody is in the building, it's kind of haphazard right now. And so we really, really want to connect with anyone. And this will connect us with anyone in Taos, out of Taos, and any student. All this, as soon as we get back from our Thanksgiving break, we'll be doing a PR on this. We'll put a press release out. We're going to have students learn how to do this. And we're also going to have a parent training, a little 10-minute training. And we're going to get it out to the Chamber of Commerce and so many other, including Anita, who said she would help us get this out there. So we're hoping to get people to be able to use this so that they can contact anyone in the district. Most of the teachers have close contact with their students and parents right now, and we didn't want to add one more thing to their plate. So they are not right now in this. We started very simple, basic, and so this is what we have to start with, and we hope to continue to advance. So please take it and practice, try it out, and we're really excited about it, and we want to make sure that we continue to communicate with all of you. And if you have any questions, you can put them on as we move forward. I would like to now introduce Melissa Sandoval, Assistant Superintendent, and let's see what she has to say about our academics at Taos Schools.
Thank you for having me on today. Thank you for inviting me, Dr. Torrez. Dr. Torrez asked me to speak briefly about the academic structure of our schools during the pandemic. Earlier this school year, we began with training across the district for our LMS system, Canvas, our learning management system. And as she mentioned briefly, we haven't wanted to put a significant amount of load on our teachers' plate because they were teachers and became learners in a platform that they were not, it was brand new to most of them. This platform is a pre-K through 12 platform that all of our teachers are instructing. What we have done over the course of the last few months is continue training and coaching for our teachers. We continue to provide all programs that we have done in years past, which is Title I, our intervention programs in both math and reading, our fine arts programs, every elective at the secondary schools, and so on. So what we've done is given our time for our teachers to transition into the teaching platforms, teaching our students and our parents to log into these platforms, learn the system, and become acculturated into the new learning styles that they have. What we have done over the last 5 weeks or so is we began work on identifying state standards across our K-12 programs, in where we provide a focus on a handful of standards that teachers will teach over the course of the school year. Some of this work was already done or began by the New Mexico Public Education Department in math and in English language arts. And what was done was they identified standards that would leverage the most learning this year, which would scaffold standards that would have been taught last year. So we're considering our fourth quarter that we shifted to remote learning quite quickly. The standards that we would originally teach this school year, and what of course is going to be taught next year. So what our teachers have been doing over the last few weeks is looking at the standards that were identified by PED, and our secondary schools are looking at those particular standards within their departments. So we expanded this not only to English language arts and math, but to our CTE departments, to our social studies and science departments. So again, what they are doing is identifying 4 to 5 standards within their curriculum that they can leverage and have the most instruction, in-depth instruction with high leverage assignments and assessments that the students are going to learn in a course of a few weeks' time. One of the reasons we are doing this is to support and hopefully increase student engagement. We must be honest that our students are struggling to engage, especially at our secondary level, where they're a bit more independent, and they're some of them are working, some of them are perhaps responsible to babysit their younger siblings and so on. So what we're trying to do is eliminate some of the workload that the students have, eliminate the workload that the teachers have in preparing their lessons and the assignments, and really providing those assignments and work that are going to leverage the most learning for our students. So that has been an ongoing process. Our elementary schools, I will say, have completed this task. So they have done this for the entire school year. Our secondary schools are currently working on this process, and they should complete this work by December 18th. All of these standards that are identified as high priority standards will be posted on my district webpage, identified by grade level and by subject area. So we are transparent with the community and our parents as to what are the expectations of their children. In addition to these standards and the focus, we have also reduced the amount of contact time for our students. So for example, our elementary students have live sessions with their teachers twice a week. Our kindergarten teachers are meeting with their students more often. Of course, that is where every year is critical. Our kindergarten and first grade teachers are teaching students how to read, really building those foundational skills. So we started off with a reduced amount of time, but we have increased this over time. So again, to allow parents and students to become accustomed to this new platform. For our secondary schools, the goal is to provide live instruction for approximately 45 minutes with support from our teachers for the remaining 45. Both our middle school and high school run a block schedule. So they see 4 classes of students or 4 courses over the course of the day. So students ideally should be online or in live sessions for no more than 3 hours a day. And then they have the remaining half of the day to complete assignments that are being provided by our teachers. So that is the structure and the guidance that we have given each of our teachers and our principals. Of course, there's some varying degrees of implementation with that. So some may do a little more, some may do a little less, dependent on their content area. With regards to our CTE programs, our teachers are having to be a bit more creative, especially for courses that would typically require the hands-on learning. Our welding courses, our trades courses, our culinary arts courses. So they're having to be a bit more creative with regards to how they're reaching out and working with students. So there are challenges, and we continue to tackle those as those come up, and we learn of those. And then with regards to going back to student engagement, one of the other initiatives that we have started is an attendance initiative. And we have extended out to our fine arts teachers and our technology teachers, particularly those who have been trained through True Kids 1 with Rosie Hyatt, to support some of the media work in engaging students and our families in the community, to give some audio files and videos on why attendance matters at Taos Municipal Schools. So we have had a few submissions already. We have posted that on our Canvas page. Those are currently being posted on our webpage. And Mr. Hyatt has graciously extended his support to help us reach out to our local radio stations to support some of this work. So having some public announcements throughout our radio stations. We are also having poster contests with our students. Again, this is K through 12. We will be making our winning posters into banners and posting them throughout the community and our school campuses and so on. So, and again, it's saying because you are working from home or you are learning from home, your engagement still matters significantly. And we hope that the message gets sent across. So if you have any ideas, please reach out to me. Any ideas are accepted. We're as you mentioned, we're learning as we're going, and we're building the car as we're driving down the road. So it definitely is a challenge, but we have a great team. Everyone in our district has really stepped up to the plate in their roles in supporting this new environment. So I want to thank everyone for that work.
Thank you, Melissa. We really appreciate your hard work with all of our curriculum, our standards, instruction, working with our instructional coaches. our interventionists. So we thank you so much for all of your work. So we are really working hard to engage every child. Now that they have their device and their hotspot and their assignments and their remote working with their teachers, we really are working to support them, social, emotional learning. And then also we continue to work with our staff to support them with social emotional learning. This break next week is going to be huge for all of our staff, students, and probably parents too. Also kids one is helping with the with the superintendent. Those students will be filming the series, and on the website next to the Let's Talk on your right, if you want to see the first version of it, go to the website and we'll have more information. All those Soul Soup with the Superintendent brings in the Stray Hearts, a couple of pets from the shelter who are available. We bring in our struggling students to help us film this, and we also feature one of our teachers of the week who talks about their family, their life, their students, and gives some tips to parents about remote learning. So we're excited about these initiatives. With all these challenges, we continue to stay as positive as possible, and we thank you so much, Taos News, for giving us this opportunity. This is really, really incredible.
Well, thank you, Dr. Torrez. I hope you won't skip us now that you're going to do your own bi-weekly one. We'll miss you.
No, we're going to keep doing this as long as you will.
What a great website, though, and Melissa did a great job of walking us through that. So very exciting. I'll be interested to see how that goes, how the community, how parents and students respond to that, but sure seems like a good idea.
Yes, we're hoping that it is. So we're going to give it a try and see how it goes. So thank you guys all so much for putting this on, for all of your hard work, because every single one of you does so much work for the community. So thank you guys.
Thanks to all of you. Thanks for tuning in, Taos, to our education forum. We'll be back in 2 weeks. In the meantime, though it may feel like you don't have a lot to be thankful for, if you know, you can still walk outside and see the sunrise and the sunset and watch the stars at night and hug your family or hug your dogs and your cats, if your cats will let you hug them. You know, those are things to be thankful for. So have a great Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.
Thank you, you too.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Staci.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. See you
Happy
soon.
Thanksgiving.
Thank
Happy
you for having
Thanksgiving.
me.
Stay safe during the holiday, everybody,
Okay.
please.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.